Good evening, everyone. How are you? I hope you had a great weekend, okay? So the prayer tonight will be offered by the amazing delegate from Prince George's County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
If you could please bow your heads. This is a reading from Proverbs written by Solomon, not Jared Solomon, but King Solomon. And it reads, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Do not be wise in your own eyes. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. And in chapter 9, it says, for whoever corrects a mocker invites insult. Whoever rebukes the wicked incurs abuse. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. Thank you.
Amen. Quorum call.
Madam Speaker.
Colleagues, let's have a seat, please. Let's have a seat. We have Speaker Emeritus will be with us today.
We have.
Let's take the call, please. There being 119 members present, the House is in session. Petitions, memorials, and other papers. What's next? So tonight, we have a very special guest with us. 1 second. So just so the body knows, we have a very special guest tonight. But before we do that and her family comes and they have a lot of family members, we're going to honor her. We're going to do a resolution for the delegate from Baltimore County. I'm going to recognize him.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Speaker.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Madam Speaker, tonight we recognize an extraordinary educator, Cara Ball, for her recent selection as a recipient of the Bezos Courage and Civility Award. Ms. Ball is a nationally recognized leader in STEM and inclusive education, a former state teacher of the year, and a champion for students with learning differences. Through her work, she has helped shape classrooms that foster curiosity, confidence, and belonging for all learners. And as a part of this prestigious honor, she has directed $5 million to understood.org, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting millions of students, families, and educators navigating learning differences. Please join me in recognizing Cara for her leadership, compassion, and unwavering commitment to inclusive education.
Congratulations to you. Will the clerk please read the full resolution?
Be it hereby known to all that the House of Delegates of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Cara Ball, educator from Teacher Created Materials, in recognition of being awarded the Bezos Courage and Civility Award, including a $5 million grant to understood.org to advance equitable education. The entire membership extends best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution to be presented on this 30th day of March 2026.
Congratulations again. While our guest comes, we're going to recognize the delegate from Prince George's to introduce the next resolution.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Speaker.
Good evening. How
Happy
are you?
Monday. Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing great. I went home.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Yes. It's a good place to be.
Spend time with Mango.
All
Yeah.
right. Good evening, colleagues. Happy Monday to you all. I am pleased to welcome the distinguished brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated on the occasion of their 22nd annual Alpha Legislative Night in Annapolis. Founded on December 4th, 1906, on the campus of Cornell University, Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated have remained steadfast in upholding the fraternity's motto, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all, throughout their daily lives. As many of you may know, distinguished Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated include our very own Governor Wes Moore, the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Maryland's own, the late Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court, Thurgood Marshall, the late Maryland Senate Majority Leader Clarence Blount, as well as our colleague, Senator Charles Sidnor, former colleague Senator Charles Sidnor and Senator Alonzo Washington, to name a few. Most notably, the international headquarters of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated sits in the heart of Baltimore City. Guided by the principles of manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind, Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated advanced signature initiatives throughout the year, such as Go to High School, Go to College, as well as A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, campaign which spans across the state of Maryland and nationally. Tonight, we are joined by three remarkable brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Mr. Mtokufa, Dr. Nguyen, President of the Mid-Atlantic Association of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Mid-Atlantic Association of Alpha Phi Alpha Chapters, Mr. Sean D. Burns, Esquire, who is the proud nephew of Baltimore's first black mayor, the late Clarence H. Dew Burns, and one of the newest members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, former delegate Jazz Lewis. Colleagues, please help me welcome our distinguished guests, as well as those that are in the balcony. If the members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated could please stand in the balcony as well and be recognized. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Will the clerk be so kind and read the full resolution, please?
Be it
Thank you.
hereby known to all that the House of Delegates of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated in recognition of 119 years of brotherhood advancing equity, justice, humanity, freedom, and dignity nationwide through steadfast service and collective action. The entire membership extends best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution to be presented on this 30th day of March 2026.
Colleagues, we'll get started in a minute or two, okay? Thank you so much for your patience. What are you announcing? Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead.
Madam Speaker,
Recognizing the Vice Chair of the Appropriations Committee.
real briefly, given our guests coming in, I want to make sure that the young ladies who are here with the Dr. Nancy Grasmick Student Leadership Program. Dr. Grasmick was our state superintendent for 20 years. We were the #1 state in the nation for 5 of those years straight. Just real quickly, the young ladies who are here from Baltimore County Public Schools, Carroll County Public Schools, they have corporate mentors, they have student mentors, including some from Towson University, and they're all here tonight with Dr. Grasmick. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hear that 20 of them are up in the gallery.
Let's welcome them. Welcome to the House. To my right? Okay. Before we start our program, good evening. Good evening. I'd like us to welcome someone that we love so much. She's above the gallery above me, Speaker Emerita Adrienne Jones. Speaker Adrienne Jones, you must feel the love right now because we love you, we miss you, and I want you to know that you're missed and you're loved, okay? Good evening. Evening. So good evening, colleagues. You know when they tell you that someone needs no introduction, sometimes it's true, and sometimes it isn't. Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi is not just one of the greatest leaders that the state of Maryland has produced. Over the past quarter century, she has been the most important woman in American politics. Forbes magazine twice named her one of the world's 10 most powerful women. President Biden called her the most consequential Speaker of the House of Representatives in our history. And who can doubt it? Whether keeping an unruly Democratic caucus in line or standing up to an out-of-control president, Speaker Pelosi has proven over and over that a woman can lead with great skill, tremendous conviction, and fierce determination. Because of her determination, 45 million Americans have health insurance coverage through the Affordable Care Act. Our country responded vigorously to the devastating COVID pandemic, enacting major legislation to protect consumers and strengthen our nation's infrastructure. Speaker Pelosi was a pioneer and a visionary, ahead of her time in opposing the Iraq War and supporting same-sex marriage. Time and time again, she made history as the first female House Minority Whip, first female minority leader, and of course, in January 2007, first woman elected Speaker of the House of Representatives. On a personal note, January 2007 was a milestone for me as well. Days after Speaker Pelosi took the gavel, my life changed forever when I took my seat as a member of the House of Delegates. Believe me, I am very aware that I stand on the shoulders of giants. It's something that I don't take for granted. If you know me at all, you know how deeply I believe that representation matters. And you have probably heard many times, you're probably tired of it, no puedes ser lo que no puedes ver. You can't be what you can't see. Thank you, Madam Speaker. There are millions of girls and young women in this country on both sides of the aisle who can picture themselves achieving at the highest level. Your confidence in who you are, your willingness to use your voice and your power has inspired a generation of women to take their rightful place as leaders. Now, it's true that Speaker Pelosi hasn't had a Maryland driver's license for a little while. Although she made her name in politics after moving to San Francisco, she grew up here in a legendary political family. I mean, it's Nancy Alessandro Pelosi. I know that Baltimore is in her blood, and Maryland is in her heart. Once a Marylander, always a Marylander. Am I right? Am I right? And so, Madam Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to say today to you, welcome home. Welcome home. This is for you. Such an honor. Such an honor. So we have a resolution, and as read, be it hereby known to all that the House of Delegates of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi in recognition of your inspirational leadership as a trailblazing public servant and Speaker of the House at the forefront of every modern legislative victory for the American people. Thank you for dedicating your life to bringing people together to effect change and uplift so many lives. The entire membership extends best wishes on this memorable occasion and direct this resolution to be presented to you today. On behalf of the entire House of Delegates, welcome home. Want to welcome her family. You're welcome, your husband, children, grandchildren, everyone. You should be so proud. So thank you for sharing her with us. We're just so proud.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. It is such an honor to receive this from the Maryland House of Delegates. And 100 years ago, 1926, my father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., was elected to the Maryland House of Delegates. And so that's why our family is just so thrilled to be with all of you here to receive this honor, of course, but to tell you how much it means to us. Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a first woman speaker of the House of Representatives, imagine how exciting it is for me to be in a body of legislators that has had 2 women speakers. Speaker Emerita Jones, I don't know if you're still up there, but she has been my friend. We've worked together. I've welcomed her to Washington. I look forward to welcoming all of you to D.C., but just the time we have left now. But in fact, she was a great speaker. I love working with her, and our members treat her with great respect and regard and appreciation. So thank you, Madam First Woman Speaker of the Maryland House of Representatives, House of Delegates. And aren't we thrilled about your new speaker? Aren't we thrilled about your new speaker, Speaker Pena Melnick? You really have brought so much to it in terms of your commitment. And you, as you mentioned, the day you were elected, you took office here when I was being sworn in as speaker. Happens to be a happy coincidence for the people of Maryland in your case. But also that you bring the values of the entrepreneurship of a newcomer to America, a family of immigrants to our country. And it's so remarkable because that is the spirit of our country. And my colleagues in Washington are always amused when I quote Ronald Reagan to talk about newcomers to America, newcomer families to America, that we are preeminent in the world because our door is open. And that invigoration and that courage and that determination, that optimism to make the future better for families, those are American traits. They're American values. And he then says, if we choose to close that door, we will cease to be preeminent in the world. Some of them don't like to hear me say that, but Ronald Reagan, I mean, come on. Anyway, here's the thing. When I came here one time, I was visiting, and I saw the beautiful, beautiful, I would just call it almost pageantry of this House of Delegates in this building, where you had Harriet Tubman in one part of it. And just so beautiful to talk about our roots in terms of civil rights and the rest, and ending slavery and coming forth. And then Frederick Douglass on the other side, a fighter for abolitionist, but also a fighter for women's rights and rights of all people, as a matter of fact. And that's what this body has been such a reflection of, the beautiful, expanding freedoms in our country. 250 years ago, when our founders declared independence, and weren't they courageous? Weren't they courageous? They declared our independence and declared that we were all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. That was the vision. The platform, the plan was the Constitution of the United States. And they couldn't do it all then, but thank God they made it amendable. When they made it amendable, soon we abolished slavery, black men had the right to vote, women finally had the right to vote, and we constantly expanded freedom. And that always happened until recently. And that's really the challenge that we have. How do we honor the values of our founders and what they intended for our country and the path they set us on, the courage it took for them to do it? How do we honor the freedom we have that is fought for by men and women in uniform, our veterans, and our veterans? And how do we keep our word to the aspirations of our children, that they will live in a country that is free and that is fair and that is just and that is respects for everyone in our country, recognizing that we are beautifully diverse. I say to the members, our diversity is our strength, our unity is our power. And I think that you all have been so magnificent in what you have done in history. You were leaders in all these things in terms of what the Underground Railroad and abolishing slavery and visions of rights that were in the Constitution and shining more in 1867. A lot of that happened right in this room, whatever the room was. We've changed too. When Lincoln was a member of the House, we were in the Statuary Hall. Later then we moved into the chamber. And during the Civil War, I'll just tell you this because I think it's so important. Abraham Lincoln built the dome on the Capitol. He built the dome on the Capitol. And people said to him, save the steel for the war. And he said, no, we have to show the world that we are resilient, that we're strong, and that we're going to be successful. And that's how we got that dome. As you know, there was some desecration of that dome a few years ago, but we have to just repair and go forward. And we do that, getting back to where you started by saying the bills that I passed here, none of that would be possible again without the courage of the members. But more important than that even was the participation of the public. We are a democracy where people's voices must be heard. And the outside mobilization passed, for example, the Health Care Act, and saved the Health Care Act. So mobilization, mobilization, mobilization. Let's hear. We had town hall meetings at the beginning of our. Everybody depended on listening to what the public wanted to see in their governance. So I give credit to not only the members, but the ability they had to listen to the people. I know this body is a very, shall we say, you have your differences of opinion. I don't know if you have much. I don't, you don't have much. I don't think you have much. No, compared to where I live, and it's a different place. But just, I know you take pride. I want you to know the rest of us take pride in what you have done and what you are doing. And I take special honor to receive this. And I'll just tell you one thing. When I'm coming to receive this tonight, earlier today, my mother was inducted, is that the word? Installed into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame. So, so 100 years for Tommy D'Alessandro, and today my mother gets recognized. But in any event, I want to congratulate you on all that you do. I want to have you congratulating you on having not one, but two women speakers of the House of Delegates. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're going to just wait 1 minute. So we have the report of the committee. Thank you, everyone. We have the report of the Committee on Appropriations. It is report number 21. The clerk will read the bill, please.
Senate Bill 283, Maryland Consolidated Capital Bond Loan of 2026. Favor of amendments. Amendment number 1.
Recognizing the subcommittee chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Madam Speaker, colleagues, the House Appropriations Committee has completed its review of Senate Bill 283, the fiscal 2027 capital budget of the state of Maryland, and presents its report to you today. Madam Speaker, permission to use some of the delegates' names.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
With the help of Chair Ben Barnes, Vice Chair Ann Kaiser, and my subcommittee colleagues and our outstanding staff, including those from the Office of Policy Analysis and your team, Madam Speaker, we've developed a fair and balanced budget that invests across Maryland. This capital budget is one of our state's strongest tools for creating jobs, building infrastructure, and supporting local communities. It will help create and maintain tens of thousands of jobs and unlock nearly $2 billion in local and private investment. We've stayed within our debt affordability limits and remain focused on supporting Marylanders despite economic uncertainty. This plan includes $1.8 billion in general obligation bonds, $68.5 million in general fund pay-go, and $798 million from special and federal pay-go funds. That's a $2.8 billion capital program, Madam Speaker, excluding the $3.1 billion transportation planning. All of this is only made possible because of the very difficult decisions and actions that this body took in passing the operating budget and the BRFA last week. The committee is proud of this work, and colleagues, we look forward to your support of this capital budget. Madam Speaker, with your permission, I'll now direct the members to the floor system materials. That's the part where y'all look in your laptops. First, Madam Speaker, the report of the House Appropriations Committee explains the amendments recommended by the committee. Each amendment is numbered in our report. The report includes reductions, additions, budget bill language, and committee narrative, all listed in the order in which the projects are listed in the budget bill. Committee narrative typically requests additional information or provides guidance to agencies or entities. Committee narrative items are not amendments, and they're not amendments to the bill, and are therefore not subject to floor amendments. However, if you have any concerns about narratives, please advise us so your concerns may be considered. The next thing is the reprint of the Senate Bill 283. The committee reprint of the bill reflects the committee's amendments to the bill. These amendments are numbered and correspond to the explanations in the report. Keep in mind that all floor amendments are to be drawn to the committee reprint. Staff of the Department of Legislative Services is available to assist in drafting amendments. We would appreciate if members who wish to make floor amendments would provide a copy of those amendments to me or to Chair Barnes prior to the session tomorrow. And with that, Madam Speaker, I move that Senate Bill 283 and the committee amendments be special ordered until Tuesday, March 31.
Thank you for your work, the entire committee and yourself. We really appreciate it. The question before the House is to special order Senate Bill 283. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 283 has been special ordered until the appropriate time tomorrow. Thank you so much. Letters of reassignment. The clerk will read the letter.
Senate Bill 187, reassigned to Judiciary and Appropriations.
Hearing no objection, the letters are ordered journalized. We're going to start with delegation announcements. Any delegation announcements? Any caucus announcements? Recognizing the chair of the Democratic Caucus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're
Good
welcome.
evening. Colleagues, the House Democratic Caucus will be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in room 150. Thank you.
You're welcome. Recognizing the chair of the Republican Caucus?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
The Republican Caucus will be meeting tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. in room 145.
Any other caucus announcements? Recognizing the gentleman from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of session. Sine die. I just wanted to alert all of you that the Seersucker Caucus will be meeting on Sine die. You have about 2 weeks to get your attire together. I want to alert you that the SEU, for those of you who don't understand who the SEU is, that is the Seersucker Enforcement Unit. We'll be in full force just to make sure that you have on the appropriate attire. If you do not have on the appropriate attire, there is a place in Hagerstown that is awaiting your arrival. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the Seersucker Caucus will be meeting on Sine die. Thank you all for your attention and your presence on Sine die. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Any other caucus announcement? Recognizing the chair of the Veterans Caucus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
I rise this evening on behalf of the Veterans Caucus to let everyone know that March 29th is National Vietnam Veterans Day. And so this evening, we gather to recognize and honor the brave men and women who served our nation during the Vietnam War. Their service came during a difficult chapter in our nation's history, and far too many returned home without the gratitude and recognition they deserved. Yet through the years, Vietnam veterans have continued to lead with resilience, quiet strength, and unwavering commitment to their fellow service members. We're especially proud to recognize our colleague, permission to use the delegate's name?
Permission granted.
Delegate Jim Heimball, who
Congratulations.
answered the call to serve during that era. His service reflects the courage and sacrifice shared by so many who wore the uniform during Vietnam. The delegate often greets fellow Vietnam veterans with a simple but powerful phrase, "Welcome home, brother." Those words carry the gratitude that many veterans should have heard long ago. So this evening we echo those words to our colleague and to every Vietnam veteran here and across the nation. Welcome home and thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Any other caucus announcements? Today's Women History Month is going to be offered by the wonderful delegate from Prince George's County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Permission to
evening.
use delegate's name?
Permission granted.
May I also have permission to switch seats with Delegate Dana Stein?
Yes, you can.
Thank
You
you,
may.
Madam Speaker. Colleagues, today is the final day of Women's History Month. I rise to celebrate a woman whose life truly embodies service, leadership, creativity, and courage. Madam Speaker, again, may I have permission to use a delegate's name?
You may.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is my honor to recognize our colleague, Delegate Cheryl Pasteur, representing District 11A in Baltimore County. Delegate Pasteur's journey is both remarkable and inspiring. A proud graduate of the University of Maryland College Park, she began her career teaching in East Baltimore City at Lake Clifton High School. There she planted seeds of knowledge and confidence in young people, many of whom still consider her a mentor. Delegate Pasteur's path then took her to Pittsburgh, where she explored her passion for theater and has used storytelling as a vehicle to encourage, to challenge, and to bring communities together. On stage and on this very floor, she has elevated voices, preserved culture, and reminded us all the power of authentic expression. Her career is dynamic and reflects a deep commitment to service at every level. As an FBI agent in both New Jersey and Florida, Cheryl Pasteur worked to protect and serve on a national scale. But her greatest calling would lead her back home to Baltimore, to her first love, which is education. Returning home to Baltimore, she devoted more than 40 years to shaping young lives as an English teacher, department chair, assistant principal, and ultimately as the proud principal of Randallstown High School until she retired in 2012. Her leadership didn't stop there. Guided by her belief that you don't just talk, you do. Delegate Pasteur was elected to the Baltimore County Board of Education in 2018, and lucky for all of us, she was elected to this chamber in 2022 and installed in 2023. In this house, Delegate Pasteur brings a steady, principled voice rooted in a lifetime of service. She approaches every issue with thoughtfulness, lived experience, and a commitment to doing the work, not just talking about it. Delegate Pasteur, your life is a testament to action, purpose, and impact. I admire your honesty, your outspoken courage, especially on issues we both deeply care about, like prison reform and ensuring that our returning citizens are treated with dignity and given real opportunities to rebuild their lives. You do not shy away from difficult conversations, you lead them. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention your sense of style, which is truly unmatched.
It's very true.
Your wardrobe is bold, vibrant, and as stimulating as your voice. And I know I'm not alone in being in awe of all of it.
Very true. Very true.
Tonight, we are especially blessed to be joined by your family, your dad, your friends, members of the Continentals, and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, former students, co-workers, and supporters in both galleries.
Congratulations.
Delegate Pasteur, you have been a source of inspiration to your students, your family, your community, and to all of us fortunate enough to serve alongside you. And I have been asked on behalf of the Baltimore County Leaders and Citizens Organization to present you with this trophy in recognition of your outstanding achievements. You probably should stand up with me here. In recognition of your achievements in education, community service, the arts, and your dedicated service as a legislator. And finally, Delegate Pasteur, your impact is lasting. Your legacy is powerful, and your example is inspiring. Thank you for being you.
Congratulations. Very deserving. That was really beautiful, very deserving. Congratulations. Delegate, you are very loved in this chamber and outside this chamber. And to her family, she reflects you beautifully here. If I ever got in trouble, I will call her. All right, congratulations again. Any other personal or guest announcement? Recognizing the delegate from Baltimore City.
Permission to use delegate's name.
Permission granted.
On behalf of my colleagues from the 41st District, Delegate Ruff and Delegate Stinnett, we want to welcome a 5-year-old visitor, Malcolm Rowe. This is his first visit to Annapolis, but he knows the way the place works because his mother doesn't come home from work. until late at night 3 months out of the year. His mother is Lindsay Rowe, who is counsel to the housing committee, to the health committee, excuse me. This is his first visit to Annapolis. He wanted to make sure he saw all the tunnels, his mother tells me. He's already been to baseball games, so he's a pretty hip guy, and he's a student at the Calvert School and a resident of the 41st District.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Malcolm. Recognizing the delegate from Anne Arundel, then Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Every year, the Maryland National Guard recognizes airmen and soldiers, whether through competitions or through processes that honor their dedication and work throughout the past year. They have just received resolutions in the Senate, and it's only right that the House has a chance to recognize our great airmen and soldiers as well. Please join me in acknowledging their exemplary efforts and triumphs in their respective categories. In the Air National Guard, and please rise when I call your name, Staff Sergeant Patricia Singh, 2026 Outstanding Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year.
Welcome.
Master Sergeant Kyle Bilafardi, 2026 Outstanding Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Master Sergeant Samila Glover, 2026 Outstanding First Sergeant of the Year. Captain Frederick Delowe, 2026 Outstanding Company Grade Officer of the Year. He's currently deployed. And Senior Airman Matthew Baker, 2026 Outstanding Airman of the Year. And for the Army National Guard, we have Staff Sergeant Kevin M. Joyner, Maryland Army National Guard NCO of the Year. Sergeant Nathan D. Walker, Maryland Army National Guard Soldier of the Year. And representing our Maryland Military Defense Force, we have Chief Warrant Officer 2 Sean P. Pino, Officer of the Year. Staff Sergeant Anthony R. Russo, NCO of the Year. Sergeant Robert M. Hunsinger Jr., Soldier of the Year. Sergeant Heinrich Bata, Soldier of the Year. Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year, Staff Sergeant Mitchell Jackson. And Officer of the Year, Chaplain Major Bill Glass. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention some of our special guests in the gallery with us tonight. We have Major General Janine Burkhead, Adjutant General for Maryland. Brigadier General Andrew Collins. Brigadier General Joe Carbonell. Alexander Mitchell. Cora Beato. Natalie Joyner. Edney McDougall. Cassandra Russo. Katie Hunsinger. Gregory Delowe. Vonda Delowe. All family members of those that we just recognized, and Dr. Tony Campbell and Mr. Hugh Norco. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome, and welcome everyone. The lady from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Madam Speaker, members of the House, today I rise on behalf of the Minority Party to honor Women's History Month. and recognize the extraordinary contributions of women who have shaped our communities, our state, and our nation. In this chamber, we do not measure greatness by titles held, but by the substance of one's service. During Women's History Month, it is right that we recognize women who have not merely occupied positions of influence, but have used them with purpose and resolve. Today, I honor a woman who is also classy, like our dear friend that was honored recently, the former First Lady Kendall Ehrlich. Raised in Timonium and educated in our Maryland schools, Kendall distinguished herself on the lacrosse field at Delaney High and later in classrooms at the University of Delaware and the University of Baltimore School of Law. But credentials alone do not define the life of consequence character does. As a prosecutor in Harford County, she pursued justice with discipline and clarity. It was there that she met her husband, Bob Ehrlich, her partner in life, and public service began. And let this be clear, behind every successful public servant is not a shadow, but often a force, steady, strategic, and indispensable. That was Kendall Ehrlich. As First Lady, she brought energy, intellect, and humanity to the role. Beautiful and caring, smart and compassionate. At a time when public life seemed distant from realities, she reminded us what leadership looks like at home as well as in the office. It is there in the mansion that they raised their two sons, Drew, and I remember when their younger son, Josh, was born while they were living in the mansion. That was not symbolism, it was strength in practice. But she didn't stop there. In years that followed, Kendall turned her attention to one of the most urgent crises of our time, addiction. As a drug court prosecutor in Anne Arundel County, Kendall worked not for headlines, but for outcomes, helping individuals find a path to recovery and accountability. And later, at the national level, she served as the Deputy Director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, advancing serious solutions to the opioid crisis, grounded in prevention, treatment, and recovery. This is the essence of real leadership. Not noise, not fashion, but results. Today, she continues to contribute through writing, media, and public engagement, while remaining above all devoted to her family. And like the true football fans that Bob and Kendall are, you will find them on the weekends cheering from the stands for their son Drew, who is coaching, and their son Josh, who is a quarterback for the UNC Pembroke team. Kendall Ehrlich's legacy is not one of spectacle, it is one of steady, principled service, focused on families, education, mental health, and on the dignity of those facing life's hardest challenges. That is the kind of leadership that endures. That is the kind of example worth honoring. And that is why, during Women's History Month, we recognize Kendall Ehrlich, not simply for the position she's held, for the difference she has made and continues to make in her family, our state, and our nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Any
Madam
other
Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
1 second. Recognizing 1 minute, the chair of the Environment and Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to use delegates' names?
Permission granted.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, every year you and Delegate Lehman give me the distinct honor of wishing one of our colleagues a happy birthday. He claims to not like this recognition, but he's here, I note, on a Monday night. Now, some might say he's here for the budget or the capital budget, or so Speaker Pelosi could thank him for leading the way on marriage equality. But I know he's here to receive his flowers tonight, Madam Speaker. Every year, I buy this legislator a baseball-themed book for his birthday. This year, I went with The Last Manager about Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver and this gentleman have a lot in common. Earl Weaver was known for arguing strenuously for his positions, getting in the face of people who disagreed with him and using some colorful words. Now, a lot of you who haven't been here that long are thinking, that does not sound like the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, the giver of capital projects, the defender of the blueprint, the statesman. Well, let me tell you folks who have not been here very long, there used to be a different guy. He was the Deputy Majority Whip. He was the lieutenant to Maggie McIntosh, and he was Speaker Orser. So maybe we'll see him tonight, depending on if this conference report gets up there, Madam Speaker. So him and Earl Weaver have plenty in common. But, you know, I also want to recognize another attribute. This delegate regularly forgets articles of clothing. I remember a few years ago, he wandered onto the floor without a tie, and the chair of the Sinai Tie Caucus, Delegate Ebersol, bailed him out with a tie. He loves to tell the story of the time he forgot his sports coat, but had to defend the blueprint on the floor and got to wear one of Speaker Bush's old jackets while doing that. And then just a few weeks ago,
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
I hate to say this, the man forgot his pants.
Yes.
So if you don't know that story, ask the Appropriations Committee staff. I think they're going to be telling this one for a long time. I am close to this guy, but not close enough to buy him pants. He has a session spouse. It's his actual spouse, so he doesn't need me for that. But I did buy him a tie to help the chair of the Sinai Caucus out. So I hope you'll all join me in wishing a happy birthday to Chair Ben Barnes.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, many blessings to you. That is the reason, madam from the Eastern Shore, that I call on him first.
No
Go
worries.
ahead.
Good evening, Madam Speaker.
Good evening.
I'd just like to take this time to recognize and highlight my nephew, Skylar Sample. He is with us tonight. He is, please stand, Skylar. He is an alpha man, and I'm very proud of him. He graduated from University of Maryland College Park, and he works for Fannie Mae, and he is a great young man, and I'm very pleased and proud to be his aunt, Skylar Sample.
Congratulations, Skylar. Your aunt is doing great work.
Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the young lady from Prince George's.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
Permission to use the delegate names?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of Delegate Harrison and Delegate Coley, we want to thank everyone for coming out to District 24 night. If we still have any members of District 24 in the balcony, please welcome them. Also, want to give a sincere and warm congratulations to our senator who was named First Citizen tonight alongside of Speaker Emeritus Adrian Jones, Nancy Pelosi. Senator Joanne C. Benson also received the award of First Senator, and she First Citizen today, and she originated in the House. We're very proud of her, and thank you, Madam Speaker. Please give her a warm congratulations if you see her.
Congratulations. Recognizing the gentleman from Anne Arundel to my left, and then coming to my right.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And once again, as you know, all across Maryland, we're on spring break for our students. I'm proud to be joined today once again by my youngest baby boy, 10th grader at La Plata High School, Quentin. Quentin, coming up. Quentin has been accepted into Georgia Tech's summer program for football, athletics, and architect program, which he will be joining other students from around the country in Georgia Tech this June. So we want to give Quentin a strong round of applause. He'll be here all week. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the gentleman from Anne Arundel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know it's getting a little late, so I want to make this quick. The Legislative Basketball Caucus will be meeting tonight as soon as we get off the floor at St. Mary's High School. There are 8 members already there waiting for us to arrive. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Recognizing the delegate from Prince George's. Thank you for being patient.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to take this opportunity to permission to use the delegates' names.
Permission granted. Let's listen.
To thank Delegate Turner and Delegate Valderrama and all of you who attended our District 26 night. If there's anybody here in the gallery from District 26, if you wave your hands, we had a wonderful time, and just thank all of you who participated. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome. Any other personal guest announcements? Hearing none. We're introducing the pages because today's Monday. Would the pages be so kind and come up here to the front, please? Thank you. And welcome. You're going to spend the
Welcome.
week with us.
Come on down, you sunshines. I didn't get a chance to greet you formally, but I'm going to just educate you real fast. Okay. When I call your wonderful name, I want you to step up and wave to these wonderful delegates. Step forward. Let me get it right. And I want you to wave, let them know who you are, and we're going to get through these wonderful names.
Hold
that
on.
is on
May
the
I 1
paper.
second? Let me interrupt you for 1 second. We were waiting for the budget from the Senate. It has arrived. We're going to finish this, but I want to let the members know that we will not be done, okay? We have one bill to deal with. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Aimofa Soto, Baltimore County, District 8, Eastern Technical High School. Anthony DeCastro, Montgomery County, District 18, Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Julian Myers, Allegheny County, District 1A, Mount Ridge High School. Alma Nageti, Anderoni County, District 21, Crofton High School. Sophia Riviera, Prince George's County, District 23, Bowie High School. John Rosen, St. Mary's County, District 29A, Leonardtown High School. Weeks, Hartford County, District 35A, C. Milton Wright High School. Caroline Winterstein, Queen Anne County, District 36, Queen Anne County High School. And family, Jeremy 1, Howard County, District 13, Reservoir High School. All right, we got through it, Madam Speaker. Okay, listen, y'all gonna have a great week, and I want you to enjoy yourself. Visit your famous delegates and visit everybody, and you have a great week, and good night. You can be excused here.
Thank you very much. We
Thank
look
you
forward
very
to spending
much.
the week with you.
And Madam Speaker, I
Yes.
just had one little announcement
Sure.
here. Just one little one, okay? Just a little one. Okay. Hold this up for me. You nice delegates that still has not come to see the protocol chair, I will be, Madam Speaker, dialing your number, coming to see y'all, okay? This is I want you to know, wonderful delegates, I got y'all numbers. I
Delegate,
got your
how many
number.
have not paid?
27.
Can I ask those 1 second, those 27 people, pay so that we don't have to see a phone? Can you please pay? Okay, we don't have to see a phone, we don't have to see a drill. Can you please just pay? Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'll be putting a big sign in the back room letting you know all the ones who don't come, you're going to miss a lot of fun. Thank you and good night.
Good night. Good night. Conference committee report. Whew.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, recognize.
I don't have a phone, but I have a
the
conference
chair of
committee.
the committee.
All right.
We
thank
have,
you.
wait a minute, conference committee report, Senate Bill 282. The clerk will read the bill in the conference committee report.
Senate Bill 282, Budget Bill Fiscal Year 2027, Amendment Number 1.
Recognizing the chair of the conference committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members of the House. The Conference Committee has reconciled the differences between the Senate and House versions of the state operating budget for fiscal 27. Today we report the compromised version of Senate Bill 282, the Budget Bill, and Senate Bill 284, the Budget Reconciliation Financing Act. I would like to thank the Speaker, the Speaker's staff, the members of the Conference Committee, and the Vice Chair, and the members of the Appropriations Committee. I would also like to thank the Governor and his team and our colleagues in the Senate for their partnership, collaboration. I would also like to thank the hardworking staff at DLS, as well as our hardworking committee staff. Together with the chair and members of the Senate Budget Taxation Committee, partnering with the administration, we present a budget that protects our shared values and priorities. In this budget now before you, we are surpassing our spending affordability committee goals without increasing taxes or fees. We're leaving a cash surplus of $250 million and over $2 billion in the rainy day fund to respond to any federal uncertainty ahead. We're investing our state public schools with over $10 billion, continuing our support for the blueprint. We're supporting early education and child care generally, with $20 million to serve 3,700 more children in the child care scholarship program and adding $10 million to the pre-K expansion grant. We're protecting programs that serve our state's most vulnerable. This includes fully funding Medicaid this year and adding $36 million added in conference committee to close a fiscal 26 shortfall at DDA, as well as the $23 million we already restored. We're lowering energy bills for Maryland families and providing $280 million in assistance for low-income households, all while still investing $125 million in Maryland's private sector, creating jobs and strengthening our state's economy, making Maryland more competitive. Madam Speaker, I move for the adoption of the Conference Committee report on Senate Bill 282.
The question before the House is to adopt the Conference Committee report. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Conference Committee report is adopted. Senate Bill 282 is on third reading and final passage. Is there any debate? Recognizing the minority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. If,
You're welcome.
the birthday boy himself would not entertain a few questions just to ascertain what's the Conference Committee report. When we did the budget the other day, we had a tremendous amount of debate about the amendments. We offered quite a few amendments. We really didn't have very much debate about the budget itself. No. And I don't intend to do that at this late hour tonight, but I do want to clarify, I do want to confirm, because I like to vote on things that are accurate. Does the budget in the Conference Committee report contain any new or additional taxes or fees imposed upon Maryland citizens or businesses more than what already existed when we came here in January?
There were none in January and none now.
To be fair, it also doesn't cut the structural spending for the blueprint going forward, correct?
No, it does cut structural spending in excess of what the spending affordability mandated.
To the blueprint or just in general?
Just in general. We also did take a blueprint action of a cut, slowing down the increase in pre-K eligibility.
Okay. There are continuing structural deficits.
That wasn't a Conference Committee item. That was in the budget.
In the original budget, but that's still there. There are continuing structural forecast deficits based upon the estimates that our future revenues will not meet the future spending as mandated by our programs. Is that a fair statement?
No changes in the Conference Committee report with regard to our outlook.
Right, but that is still the outlook.
The outlook has a structural forecast shortfall. I would not call it a deficit because it's estimate, and estimates are just that. And I'll give you a good example. The budget, the BRE, the budget and revenue estimates, have noted that for the last 4 quarters, we've had about 4% growth in our income tax. That's pretty robust growth. It's really resounding. It's really a testament to how resounding and robust Maryland's economy has been and how resilient Maryland's economy has been in the face of these federal challenges. Despite that really remarkable growth, the BRE is only anticipating a 2% growth moving forward. And that's a testament to our very conservative outlook and budgeting as far as the outlook is concerned. So
we can agree to disagree about the economy or the factors, but we can agree that this current existing budget doesn't impose any additional taxes and fees.
Correct.
Beyond what existed, and it spends within the envelope as laid out by the Spending Affordability Committee and the BRE estimates for the future.
Cutting our structural issues by over $500 million, I believe.
Okay. Does the Conference Committee report, and I'll kind of combine them because I know some of this may be in the BRFA, does the Conference Committee report continue the amendment that I was pleased to offer on behalf of the Republican caucus about putting some guardrails and transparency on nonprofits that receive state funding. I heard there might have been a slight change or variation to the wording of the amendment, but that's
Technical
still
amendment
there.
brought to us by DLS and reviewed by the Republicans on the conference committee. I think it still meets the intent of the original amendment.
So that amendment, the nonprofit guardrails and transparency that we suggested and everyone agreed to is still there. And I also heard that perhaps the conference committee, and maybe again this is in the BRFA, that's okay, I won't do it twice, that perhaps the conference committee decided to adopt the reasoning originally offered by a senator from Baltimore County, I believe District 7, and here on the House side presented by the little gentleman from Carroll County, my very good friend, who he presented.
The little gentleman's amendment was adopted.
You got to have nicknames, so that's better than some of his other nicknames.
We decided after in consultation with the conference committee, after looking at that language in a little more detail, and in consultation with the chair of the standing committee, to accept that amendment.
Okay, so that amendment about the age of vehicles that would be able to get historic tags, thereby save some money, that was adopted. It was one of the Republican suite of amendments, and that is in the conference committee report.
In the conference committee report, hopefully resolved into perpetuity.
Great. Thank you for illuminating that. I appreciate it.
Seeing no other questions or debate, the clerk will call the roll.
Madam Speaker.
Has everyone recorded their vote?
Madam Speaker.
Recognizing the lady from Baltimore County.
I am really surprised that you're calling a vote on this before you gave us a chance to read the bill. So we abided by your request to get amendments to the committee for 24 hours notice, but we have not had 24 hours to read this committee report. And I am very surprised that you're calling a vote right now.
Point of order.
I'm going to recognize the chair of the committee so that he can explain. Okay?
Conference committee report is not amendable. It is not subject to amendment. It is not available for amendment. I cannot remember a delay in a conference committee report at any time in my 20 years here in the House of Delegates. It's appropriate and before us now. Defer to the speaker if she'd let the lady explain her vote.
Okay.
Yes, I would say this is wrong, that we have not had a chance to read it. Our vote is informed by reading it, and you know that we read the bills. So I am surprised. There's plenty of time for this bill to be read. It reminds me of DC. You got to pass the bill before you can read it, and this is not how we do business. I am very surprised. I have not had a chance to read the conference committee report thoroughly with 24 hours as you've asked on amendments. I am not just because of that, but because this is the highest budget in the history of our state at a time when the economy is not strong enough to sustain it. Taxes are not coming in at that rate. It is irresponsible, and I am proudly a no.
Okay. The clerk would take the call. There being 102 votes in the affirmative and 13 votes in the negative, Senate Bill 282, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Okay. Conference committee report, Senate Bill 284. The clerk will read the bill in the conference committee report.
Senate Bill 284, Budget Reconciliation and Financing Act of 2026, Amendment number 1.
Recognizing the chair of the conference committee report.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Move the conference committee report.
The question before the House is to adopt the conference committee report. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The conference committee report is
Madam
adopted.
Speaker.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't want you to miss me this time. I request that this be laid over. This is where all the fund swaps go on, and we should have a day to read it. There's no reason that the body cannot be given, not even 24 hours. We can vote on it in 12 hours. But I request a special order or a layover so we can actually read what is in this BRFA. Thank you.
Recognizing the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Wow. Listen, I will defer to the parliamentarian, but we are after the 65th day, and moreover, the gentle lady doesn't have an amendment, and if she did, it would be out of order. It is not susceptible to a layover at this point. As far as a special order, Department of Legislative Services has instructed that we need to get the budget done tonight in order to meet the presentation presentation date of Friday. We also are moving the capital budget tomorrow, and so I would resist a special order. Now, as far as what is in this, if the gentlelady would like to know, very few changes in the BRFA. Very, very few with regard to the conference committee report. The gentlelady has had 11 days to review from we passed it from committee until today. 11 days. There were maybe 3 or 4 or 5 conference committee items in the BRFA. Very relatively few. If one was of concern to you, maybe you're interested in the native plants and what happened with that. Well, the Senate didn't take our native plants. If you're interested in native plants, there you go. But there are very few changes between what was passed out of committee 11 days ago and where we stand today. If there was one that concerned you, please ask the question. I will happily answer it.
So for the
Madam
layover,
Speaker.
may I please? For the layover, you need an amendment. You don't have one. For the special order, I'm going to call the special order and we will vote on it, okay?
And then I'll ask my questions if the special order is not honored.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the question before the House is to special order Senate Bill 284. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. No. The clerk will call the roll.
Madam Speaker.
Where is it? Okay. Would the clerk please take the call? There being 94 votes in the negative and 24 votes in the affirmative, the motion fails. Recognizing the lady from Baltimore County.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You're welcome.
This was not on the agenda prior to 5 minutes ago, so I think that's unjust and not right. That's not the case. But I will ask the floor leader some questions about the BRFA, please.
Every conference committee report is put on the agenda at the last minute. That's how conference committees work. I think you've been here 16 years, but what are your questions?
Wow. Good evening. How are you, Mr. Chairman?
You know, I'm good, except, you know, there's an old tale.
It's his birthday.
I know. He's not happy with me,
It's his
and we
birthday.
can all tell he's unhappy. But I'll try to cheer him
Be
up.
kind, because it's his birthday.
I am always kind.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, yes.
If you could please tell us, does this BRFA continue to punish law enforcement that cooperate with federal authorities?
It was not a conference committee item. So here's how and I think you were on appropriations, so let me remind the body how conference committees work. When there are differences between the houses get together and discuss their differences. That amendment, as you know, was put on by the Senate and accepted by the House. So for anything that happened, it would not have been the sort of germane or the subject matter of the conference committee report. The short answer is yes, but if you have other questions of that nature, they would all be yes because they were not part of the conference committee.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, but I know in conference committee things get added and taken away that are not necessarily part of the conference, because you're right, I was on appropriations for 4 years, and I did watch it happen that way. So it is germane and it is appropriate for us to discuss. So you're telling me that in this BRFA, there is a penalty for any local law enforcement that cooperates with ICE.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Are you transferring money out of CEF and putting it in the general fund?
There were no changes in the conference committee report.
So is that yes or no?
That is not germane to what we're doing.
Well, you could have changed it and put that money in DDA. So you left the transfer from CEF into the general fund.
No.
You did not. That's in the budget, not in the BRFA?
It's in the budget. There was a BRFA item with regard to CEF
Okay.
as well, a concurrent item, but there was no change in the conference committee report.
Thank you very much. What did you do with DDA? Because you stood up and talked about that.
The only change was that there is a fiscal 26 deficiency. We are continuing to see deficiency spends in DDA. It's part of the reason that one of the conference committee items was adding $5 million to study what's happening in the agency to see if we can get our arms around a better understanding of why we continue to see deficiencies. There's also $2.5 million that came in the supplemental budget to do a similar thing with DDA. So almost $8 million to look at the agency, see how they're spending in DDA. And there was a $36 million deficiency in fiscal 26. Remind everyone this budget is fiscal 27 that we're passing. We found out just days ago, actually, that there is yet another DDA deficiency of $36 million. We worked with the governor and the Senate to fill that hole. So in addition to the $23 million we did restore to DDA, we actually found $36 additional million of fiscal 26 deficiencies. Other than that, there were no changes in the conference committee report.
So $8 million to study the problem.
Yeah, it's a little more robust than studying, and I'm happy to sit down with you and show you the language. It's, you know, we're going to bring out an outside auditor. We're going to give some money to the agency itself to hire somebody with some expertise in finance and how to run it. We're going to give a PIN for that. There's a whole myriad of things, and I'm happy to get that to you.
Thank you. I will take you up on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Madam Speaker.
Has everyone recorded their vote? Does anyone care to change their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. There being 93 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 284, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. This ends the work at the desk. Quorum call.
Madam Speaker.
Has everyone recorded their presence? The clerk will take the call. There being 114 members present, the House is still in session. Recognizing the majority leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stands adjourned until Tuesday, March 31st at 10 o'clock a.m. Legislative date, March 15th.
Get some rest. Thank you
Madam
for your
Speaker.
work.
Madam